Okay, so what do you think? If you had to tell somebody, if you had to talk about grief,
Hmm.
you're talking to a woman who's grieving, what do you want her to know?
First, that it's normal, it's
Yeah,
natural.
yeah.
You're, it's not just your brain, your body's very much engaged, and it's not permanent. It doesn't, and the only way it's permanent is if you make it permanent.
Yeah,
And at some point, I think we don't realize it, but it becomes a choice
yeah.
to stay in that discomfort, as scary as that is, maybe less scary than stepping out of it.
Suzanne, did you know that grief wasn't permanent?
I think I knew the extreme pain of grief was not permanent because I had had other deaths in my life and other types of losses, not just death, bankruptcy, financial issues, job changes,
Right,
moving, all of those types of things. So I knew that I didn't carry that level of pain that I experienced in the immediacy after the event.
right.
But I don't know, because the death of Kale was so traumatic in so many ways for me. I don't think I truly understood in those moments that I'm not a big fan of the phrase that this will pass,
Right.
but with intention and doing work, you can get through. Absolutely
Okay.
can get through.
And that was one of the things I was just saying as you were thinking that. I was thinking people will tell you this will pass. But what really passes? Let's talk about that. What really passes?
Time.
When time
The only thing that
passes
passes is time.
and
And
the
time is an enemy because all it
and
does is remind you of things, right? Or society wants you to benchmark your life against a calendar. And when you take a step away from that calendar and say, here's where I am today at this moment, and it's okay. Whatever the current state of you is absolutely fine. The heaviness, that horrid pain, the inability to think, all of those things do shift. Do they lessen? I don't know if I would use the word lesson, but they shift.
tell me about mom. Tell me about mom with that theory right there.
Yeah, I sat in a space for 3 years after my mother died, and I don't know that I could describe anything that happened in 3 years. I sat in it. Now, I wasn't actively grieving, I wasn't crying every day, but I had just made a choice to shut down. I didn't do any work. I didn't know there was work to do. My mom, my best friend, my life continuity partner, if you will, had now died. And I didn't know what to do with any of that.
Wow.
Because that's the person that's with you from the beginning until their end, typically,
Yeah.
or yours, depending.
Yeah.
And I just missed that presence, that comfort, that safety, that knowing. And I didn't know what all those things were. So I think as the protection mechanism, my brain was like, yeah, mom's gone. And that was all it was even gone. It wasn't even my mother died,
Correct
right?
me
The
if I'm wrong.
definitive.
You had Mike and Steve then too.
I did. Yeah, I still had both my brothers.
You had both
And
your
Mike,
brothers and
yeah,
they showed up.
absolutely. Mike showed up 10,000%. He then took on that role of filling that comfort, safety space that had been left by my parents. He'd always been that presence, but Mike was 13 years older. So Mike
Yeah.
was almost an adult before I could even remember him very much.
Right.
But yeah, he was always that next level comfort and space
Did
for
you
me.
find while that 3 years, the 3 years, did you find yourself leaning more into Mike and Steve? Did you find like he stepped up, but did you find yourself leaning in a little bit?
Oh yeah, I desperately grasped onto Mike.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Steve was dealing with
Yeah.
his own grief and issues over losing both his children within a month. And so he was sort of more peripheral, but Mike was omnipresent. If it wasn't every day, a phone call or to visit or something. And then as he experienced health issues, I was spending more time with him, taking him to doctor's appointments and things because he couldn't drive. So I think we kind of leaned into each other because he was that remaining person for me, but I think I was a big connection to mom for him.
Yeah. So you said at 3 years. What happened at 3 years?
I had a friend, a good friend that was a nursing faculty member, and she had reached out to me about year one and said, how are you? And very gently basically said, you're not doing well. And here's somebody that helped me when I had an experience, gave me a card, and that was the end of the conversation. And I kept the card, kept the card, kept the card, did nothing with it. She gave me even more time and came back again. And she said, just checking, did you still have the card? And it was a little more eye-opening at that point. I think I had a little bit of my faculties back in terms of numb and awareness. And I kind of looked at the way I was dressed. I was all in black, just kind of slogging through, shuffling through the days and the nights, etc. And so I made that phone call and I reached out to a therapist. And that was a big change for me to have
And
somebody to go talk to.
she helped you because
Yes.
talking is so important. We talk about how talking is so important, and you were able to do the talk therapy with her and really break through some of the say what was going on.
Yeah, I could talk about just first, it was even talking to even let the walls come down.
Wow.
Because with that passage of time, I had literally brick by brick just built myself this nice little safe castle that I was sitting in. Nobody could get in.
Yeah.
And just going through the motions without conscious recognition that that's what I had
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. You said you were wearing black. Did you do that for a while?
I did that predominantly like those 3 years without awareness. But, in retrospect, when you think about it, color does change in your life when
Yeah.
with one of these types of events, especially the death of somebody so close to you. And she took a lot of that vibrancy out of my life. And so I think that was my external way of showing what I was feeling internally.
Wow. Wow. Color changes in your life. That's so cool. I've been sharing with everybody. I'm like, Suzanne said this last night, you guys, and this is the thing. I was sharing it on the live all day today. The
Uh-huh.
minute after his last breath, your life changes. You s-
Absolutely.
you said that on Monday night, and I was like, oh, the minute after their last breath.
Because your world, as the world you knew it, your life as you knew it is no longer yours. It's no longer the same. Everything, everything and anything has fallen apart. You have a past, you have a history in your brain, but your present isn't what it was 1 minute ago, right? And all those expectations and all those plans, and even all those emotions and feelings and a place to put them, it doesn't exist anymore. And it's the enormity of all of that that I gets kind of mishmashed in with this person is no longer here.
Yeah.
And I think it can be difficult to parse out the pain of their absence versus the pain of everything that goes along with their absence.
Yeah. Yeah. And you step onto that grief journey. The moment that last breath happens, you step on. And then this confusion happens where I've been talking about that a lot this week, where you're trying to navigate through this. And it
Yeah,
just,
you and I would joke about the fact that I have the little image of my brain with its little hobo backpack and it's just walking away, right? Because to me, I've always been somebody that could depend on my brain. My
yeah,
brain always maintained itself and I could go to that space and go to the intellectual space, whether grief was sitting there or not, but that it was always rock solid. And in this particular loss, and I think true even in retrospect with my mother, it happened, but with Kale, it absolutely happened. I couldn't think beyond a moment. Words escaped me. Did I eat? Did I feed the dogs? I mean, and I'd think it, and then 10 seconds later, I might ask myself again and again.
yeah,
I thought I had a nervous breakdown. As the time started to pass a little bit, I thought something had happened catastrophic to me in my brain.
Wow. Wow. So let's put in chronological order how you got here, because I think we were going to do a test record, but it started off so good. I'm like, oh no, I'm recording this. She's crazy. I'm recording it. It started off so good. I'm like,
Right.
nope, no, this is not a test. Okay. You came to me 2 years ago, so that would have been 2024.
Correct.
2024. Okay. But okay, so give us your losses in order.
So that's a good question. I might even have
You
to
don't have
get
to give
out
me the
this.
date, just how
Yeah.
who you lost.
My first loss of people, I had
Yeah.
grandparents. So my mother's parents were probably the first losses I experienced. And we grew up one block from my mother's parents.
So
So they
close.
were grandparents, but they all were also surrogate parents. So it was a
Yeah.
little different feeling
Yeah.
from the death of my dad's parents, who were both out of state at a distance. I lost my dad. I lost my nephew, my oldest nephew. His name was Dale. My dad's name was Dale. Dale was my nephew. My niece Jessica died the month before that. Her brother, my nephew Jared, died. My mother died. I had my mother's siblings died, and they were both local to me. And probably, again, the biggest loss in terms of somebody dying was my partner, Kale. And that
Yeah.
one absolutely devastated me.
And when you lost Kale's when I met you,
Correct.
and you came in and you're like, yeah, my partner died. And I was like, okay, let's start doing some work. And you and I
Right.
sat down and we're like, we're gonna do this work. And I was like, this is grief and this is what it looks like and this is how it happens. And then I was like, well, let's just see if you've had any other losses.
Right. Then you get out the flip file, flip, like you do when you're lecturing, right? You're flipping,
Like,
flipping,
well,
flipping.
I've had a
Right.
couple. I've had a
Right.
couple. And then I was
Yeah.
like, Suzanne, oh my goodness, what do you think about us taking a look at all of your losses and let's doing all the losses? And
Yeah.
you were very open to it.
Yeah, because they attach to one another. Because what we don't understand is negativity attaches to negativity, whether it's a
Right.
death, it's any kind of change that that we don't like, that we don't
Yeah.
want. And if without doing some kind of work to identify it, it attaches. And so we went all the way back, and we started with my dad, which
Yeah.
was sort of surprising given the magnitude of everybody else at the table. But it was so enlightening to do my dad, because as we did that and talked through it, and I recognized patterns in my own behavior throughout the rest of my life from those events forward that were immediately tied to that, or
Yeah.
tied to my engagement and my relationship with my dad. And it was also enlightening because it gives you a moment to recognize your person, as a human being, not
Yeah.
just not just he was my dad. Well, yes, he was my dad, but he was also Dale, a person who had flaws and had positivity and had all these things. And when you can sit and really objectively look at that, I think that is incredibly powerful.
So, so powerful. Before we get into your partner, I want to
Mhm.
ask you this question. And this is going back to where we started in the beginning, but I always say when mom is your best friend, there's a second layer to the loss. And I just truly believe it. One, I've lost my best friend. Two, my mom is still living, so I haven't had that experience, but I've lost my best friend and I know what that was like. But I
Yeah.
just see women after women after women coming in here, and there's just this layer where they're like, but Sharon, you don't understand. We did everything together. She's
Yeah.
my person. She's my love. Could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that we forget typically, and if you think about a role model, male, so dad teaches the son how to be a man. Mom
Yeah,
teaches you how to be a woman, how to be a mother, how to be a
right.
caretaker, those type of softer type skills. And I was born later in life to my mother. My mother was 33, and there was 8 years between my brother Steve and I, and as I'd mentioned before, 13 between Mike and I. So she had boys, and then finally here comes the little girl. And so it was just very different. And I think in a lot of ways, because of her own life experience, I became her person very early on.
Yeah,
Because that was, she had her baby to do
yeah,
things with. And I did stuff with my mom constantly. There was
yeah,
never a time that I remembered not. But the thing that was so cool about my mom was she also was an enabler. but the right kind of enabler. You want to go do that, go do it. You want to go to college 3 hours away, pack up your car and go. Never restrictive, never, always supportive, and gave me. Sometimes I think we think the word strength is not always the right word. Maybe it's more character. Maybe it's also
Mm.
more courage and just sheer will to say, yeah, I can do this. Just because I haven't done it doesn't mean I can't. And when you have that kind of person in your corner day to day to day, and so it builds a very interesting and strong sense of security, safety, somebody who's always got your back. And you don't consciously think about it.
Yeah.
You don't typically sit down today and say, "Oh, who's my security today?" And like, how do I feel about that?
Yeah.
And I think for those that like went away to college or got married and moved away from their parents, I think you get a little bit of that independence, but there's still the ties that bind, right?
Yeah.
It's still there. And when I came home from college, my mother had three massive heart attacks and had needed some help. And my brothers were both older and married.
Yeah.
So I left college in my junior year and I came home to be with my mother. And
Yeah.
it was never a burden. It was never something, oh, I regret this. It was awesome because we were just kind of
Yeah.
hanging out together again, lived
Yeah.
together until the day she died. And she was and loved to go to we call the junk store, the thrift stores. And she loved to cook. I've got so many knickknacks in my house and boxes. Loved to shop, and she was crafty, loved to crochet. So we'd sit together and, crochet and do things like that. And I have a lot of my mother's characteristics. And through my work, interestingly enough, I also realized I have a lot more of my dad's characteristics than I ever thought.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that fun? Isn't that funny?
It
Wow.
is.
And I
Yeah.
wonder if doing your grief work on dad allowed you to see that for what it
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah,
It
it did
really,
because when I lifted the pain, and
yeah.
it's not, and I think there may be a misconception that it's the pain of their death that we're working on. It is the relationship we're working on.
Yeah.
Your relationship with whomever it is. And my relationship with my dad was awkward. Dad was not touchy-feely, mom was. Dad was a boy's dad. He didn't know how to be a girl's dad. And he was supportive in his way, but it was usually kind of gruff and rough. And I can probably count on my hands the number of times my dad ever hugged me. And I resented my dad because he wasn't demonstrative in the way that I needed him to be. And so even as I got older, I held a lot of things against him that were
Yeah.
my things that had really, they weren't his, they were
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
And doing that work allowed me to see it.
You just made me realize something. So let me throw this out there because you and I love to talk about grief. You
Yeah,
we,
we do.
we break
We
it down.
dissect it, put it back together, break it
You're
apart
like, hey,
again,
I
right?
just thought of this. What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Exactly.
And
Do it a
I
lot.
enjoy having somebody to bounce this off of.
Yeah.
We say that all grief is experienced at 100%.
Hmm.
We say that there's no hierarchy in grief.
Hmm.
Grief is grief is grief. Everybody grieves the same. You and I see women all the time that come in here and they tell us in the lives, you and I will be in the lives, and they'll say things like, you don't know what it's like to lose a child. A mother never gets over losing a child, right? So they say that.
Yes.
But you just proved something else. What happens to that child that lost that mother?
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
that
Yeah.
child that lost that mother, and you don't get the respect that you deserve because one, you were an adult child, you were
Right.
on your own, you owned your own home, you were doing your own thing, and
Right.
so it gets pushed under the rug, and you were the
Absolutely.
child of that mother.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's the historic need to put things in a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
This is more important than that
Mm-hmm.
because somebody said it was. That's just an opinion. That's not a fact.
No.
I do not have any idea, 100,000%. Do I have any idea what it's like to lose a child?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Correct. I
Yeah.
don't, nor
Yeah.
will I understand and have that experience.
Yeah.
But I never compared my own responses in a way that was like, oh, you're not grieving the right way, or
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it'll never be the same because
Yeah.
your niece died, or
Yeah.
whatever hierarchy people want to put. And we spend so much time worried about what society says or how we're supposed to present ourselves. And other countries, other societies don't do that. They
Yeah.
deal with grief very, very differently.
Yeah.
And if we love and are demonstrative in love and are loud with love, why is it that grief has to be hidden? And, you're supposed to put on this fake facade because you've now put more on yourself. You have enough that
Yeah.
you're trying to navigate through. Now you've picked up all the burdens of society and said, oh my gosh, I have to carry this too. And now I
Yeah.
have to do all these things to make everybody else feel better. And at some point, we need to take a step back and say, that's not my job.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
dealing with this. You're not. These are
Yeah.
my feelings, my emotions, my
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
And interestingly, when my brothers and I would talk, and we would talk about my mom a lot. And my brother Steve and Steve died last year. And so my whole family's gone. But we would talk about my mom and we would laugh, but his experiences were so different than mine. He had more time with my mom.
Mm.
He went hunting with my mom. He learned how to do different things with my mom. He had children, so his experiences with my mom were different, but
Yeah.
she was the parent to both of us.
Yes.
And we talked about that. And we also talked about he lost two children. They
Yeah.
were a niece and a nephew, not
Yeah.
the same. We had losses. The people were similar, and that's where it
Yes.
ended. That's where it
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah.
And until you can put down some of your own expectations and boundaries and say, I don't know what it was like for my brother to lose his children within a month. I know what it was like for me to lose a niece and a nephew within a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I can't compare them. I didn't create them. I
Yes.
wasn't there 24/7 when they were babies,
Yeah.
right? The same that my loss of a mother was very different than Mike or Steve's.
Yeah.
Mike had the most time with mom.
Yeah.
He also gave mom a lot of grief, and so did
Yeah.
Steve. And
Yeah.
so, and I was just, so busy being perfect because they weren't,
Yeah.
to make life easier for my mom. So a lot of those traits and characteristics that she had because of life circumstances, children absorb.
Yeah.
And then when you don't have that, in some ways, a parent's a bit of a mirror because
Yeah.
they've been your mirror for how many years? And then
Yeah.
the mirror's not there. It's not even not there. It's broken. It's shattered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have that opportunity to, am I doing the right thing? Mom, what would you do? Or dad, what do you think about this investment? Or, my car's not, dad was the car guy, right? So what do you do? Dad, this is making this funny sound. Now, when it made a funny sound, I'm like, man, I got to figure out what that funny sound is all by myself.
Yeah. I got to figure this out.
That's not
Something,
fair.
something caught you in your throat right there.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah. I
it?
think the ability to talk with somebody who had a relationship with your person,
Yeah.
whatever the relationship was. And I
Yeah.
have a girlfriend that grew up with me. She absolutely adored my mother. So she and
Yeah.
we start to talk and we both sob like we're 5 years old.
Yeah.
And because it's that, I think it's a different string
Yeah.
that passes between you because it's a knowing and an understanding because
Yeah.
you knew the person,
Yeah.
different experiences, but you knew the essence of the person.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, it also adds a whole other burden and a whole other layer to the grief that you experience.
So one of the things you quickly said, and you and I've met other women that are in the same position, or people come in and say it. Your family, your mom, your dad, and both of your brothers are gone.
Yes.
You have your
Yeah.
nieces and nephews that are here with you, and that's your family
Mhm.
now.
Right.
But all of that connection and that woven string is all gone.
Yes. Yeah. Your history is gone
Yeah.
because now the history doesn't reside in anything that's tactile. It's
Yeah.
only in your head. Now, there are
Yeah.
times, again, you can look at videos or you can pick up pictures or, there's a memory attached to something, but it's not literally heart to heart
Yeah.
connection with somebody who lived through similar experiences. If you think
Yeah.
about and again, a lot of people now did not live through 9/11,
Yeah.
9/11. But I remember that day for a lot of reasons. But one of the
Yeah.
reasons was I was on the phone with my dad, comfort, safety, reassurance, came home and my mother was here. So even when you have unrest in your
Yeah.
life, you had those anchors. And as
Yeah.
those anchors slowly, I'll say, stick with the metaphor, go out to sea,
Yeah.
um, you find yourself, the common thing is people say they're an orphan, but you do feel more and more isolated
Yeah.
because now you are the keeper of all the memories. You're the keeper of all the stories
Oh, yeah.
that nobody else can either interject in or can has any point of reference to.
A point of reference. So grief is the feeling of reaching out for someone who's always been there.
Yeah.
And they're,
100%.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know that caught you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times grievers come in and you and I have met them and they're like, I have no one. I have no one. And they make that their story. And
Easy to do.
it's easy to
I
do.
have no
And it is
one.
a part of your grief.
Yeah, but you can't take that on as your identity.
Yes.
And that's, I think, and I think I don't know if it's a natural, I'm certainly would be fair to say that it's normal because
Yeah.
I am alone and I've said it. I'm alone, but I have to also put it in context. I'm alone because my immediate family has died.
Yes.
Am I alone on the planet? No, I'm not. Am
Yeah.
I alone in my grief experiences? No.
Yeah.
Am I alone? I have two great nieces, a great nephew, and great greats that I can, so there's still blood family, just a
Yeah.
little, a little differently without the core. And it's the core of who you are. These
Yeah.
people built you.
Yeah.
These people framed you.
Yeah.
And then to then have that erode or be gone, and then the partner that comes in, or a
Yeah.
best friend that comes in, or whatever
Yeah.
that role might be, fill some of that because they now change you and they build you a little differently. And
Yeah.
then they're gone.
Yeah.
And you're back to that identity piece. Who am I?
Yeah.
What do I like now? What do I not like now? What do I want to do? What if I don't want to do anything? And it's a deconstruction of of self and a lot of deconstruction of your ego. Your
Yes.
ego really goes through a lot more than we think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. So I am a TikToker and I'm on TikTok and I used to go on TikTok at night and I was
Yeah.
on TikTok one night and you chimed in and you were like, no, that's not the way it is. I don't even remember. I can still remember when you came in, I saw that heart
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you found me on TikTok
I did.
and you said my partner died, but you
Mhm.
weren't saying his name. I didn't say
Oh,
his
yeah.
name for a while.
No, I
And you
didn't
would
say I couldn't.
continually come to my lives and you couldn't say his name.
No, because that, I think in retrospect, that makes it real.
Yeah.
Start saying their name out loud, there, and it gives validity to what you're
Yeah.
experiencing. And yeah, so I couldn't say Kale's name for probably 6 months, 6 to 8
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
even to myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't, in the moments when I would be crying and just sobbing, and like you say, the snot and the hit, you can't breathe,
Yeah.
and his name would not come out of my mouth, and I couldn't say died.
Yeah.
He's gone, he's passed, he's whatever, not here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all those things help you frame it as a bit temporary
Yeah.
and not tangibly real.
Yeah.
Even the ceremonies don't necessarily make it real because we see
Yeah.
media plays a part of that too.
Yeah.
And I think I came to you at about month 3, I think. It seems like I came kind of early.
Yeah.
Found you on TikTok. I was scrolling at night doing the thing we do so our brain doesn't have to, we don't have to engage in real people. And you were talking about the horrible things people
We'll
say.
say, yeah.
And because that's the part that caught me. And I'm like, what? Yes. And I just dove right in because I'm like, oh, let me tell you what somebody just said to me. And, you know, don't you have somebody that can replace him at 3 months? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what it gave me was I wasn't isolated. I wasn't alone. Even though it was not direct communication, I could see and hear
Right.
and take in, at least at that point, that there's something that's going to make this better.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
change it for me. It's going to do something. Now it's not going to, I had no concept about what the other side would look like coming out, after getting out of the tween and coming out on the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's painful. It's not only your perception of things, you really do have to take that step back and It's a lot of self-assessment work and thought
Yeah.
work and the things that your brain will tell you, and even your body gets involved. And your body likes to derail you, right? The aches and the pains and the headaches and I can't get out of bed and your everything is mechanically trying to protect you from
Yeah.
all of the horrible things you think are happening, which may not be, and they're
Right.
actually happening.
Something though about you, Suzanne, I don't know. I've just always known it since the beginning. Like you were getting it. Like I was saying this and you were getting it and you were understanding it. Why? Why do you think? The other
I,
thing I saw you do is I'd say something and you would go study it and research it. And then you
yeah,
would come back and say, wait a minute, I studied this and blah, blah, blah. And I
yeah,
loved that about you. I
yeah.
loved it.
That's part of, and if I say fun and grief, people are going to think I'm like really, really off my
Oh,
nut.
I'm going to tell that part
But,
about you. Don't you worry. I'm going to tell that
but
part
there,
about you.
to me, I'm very learning driven, very, very intellectual. I love to learn and do things. And part of my processing is that learning and understanding, not only about self, but about a topic. And what resonated with me was first, I had had the experience you were just talking about. I had had it. So that
Yeah.
immediately gave me a connection and gave me validity that I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
It's not just me having these thoughts, these feelings, these encounters with people. And I had survived everything else to that
Yeah.
point. Now, in the moment, if somebody said you'll survive this, I'd have told you you're full of shit
Yeah.
because I didn't want to survive it. I
Yeah.
did not want to be here. I wanted to die. I thought about it. I pseudo sat down and was like, this is how this could go. Um, because the pain was so enormous. I just
Yeah.
didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And for me, I have dogs. And
Yeah.
so my concern and care for them overrode my negativity towards self and having to move. Doesn't mean move forward, might have been moving up, might have been moving down, sideways, but any kind of movement beyond that minute, right? Sitting in the space of the event, the moment after. And I think being able to bounce a little bit between intellectual and emotional gave me a different type of stability because I could go to the intellectual, I could read, I could understand, and then it would make a connection to my emotional. You would do that. You would in the teachings, right? And it'd be like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Again, intellectual versus emotional. As soon as that in your brain, you've got brain fog. You're not. It's like, oh my gosh. So I haven't lost my mind. I'm not having a breakdown. These are normal things.
Yeah.
But until you hear somebody tell you, and maybe hear multiple people tell you,
Yeah.
in the context of a grieving space, you don't know. It's all the things you didn't know that you wish you did before.
Yeah. Was it easy doing the work?
No,
No.
no. Driven to do the work. I didn't lose any motivation to do the work. I didn't need to step away. I could stay at it. But it uncovered some really ugly ogres and some really huge, huge boulders of emotion and chasms in my life, in my heart that I had simply boarded over and moved on from. Not through, but on. Just covered them up and didn't deal with them. And I had to go tear those barriers down and get in there and dig in and find out, what is this about? Where did it come from? Why is it here?
Right. And you brought those. You're like, hey, why is this like this? Why is this? And you and I worked through it.
Yeah.
Would you do it again? Would you do go to the grief school again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing, in the early days, nothing's amazing. Nothing,
Yeah.
you can't take it in. And that's,
Yeah.
I understand it because I couldn't have taken it in either.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting with people who understand
Yeah.
grief,
Yeah.
the overarching word of grief and what that means, what it is to grieve
Yeah.
someone, to live with grief, to live with loss, and the stark difference between do this work,
Yeah.
don't do this work. And you can
Yeah.
see it, and you can see people transform. I know even in working in groups, as I was working through, I was watching peers, other women starting to transform, and you could see just a little bit of it, a little bit of the weight coming off, right?
Yeah.
The little bit of this, that heaviness, you would describe it as a backpack. I think sometimes for me, it literally felt like something just like around my throat.
Yeah.
So consuming and constricting because I didn't know better. I
Yeah.
didn't know that this work existed. I didn't know there's a path. You've got to go through it. There is no getting over it, like
Yeah.
everybody just wants to say. And again, those are just thoughts from, again, the stages from, how many, getting close to, feels like it's like been 100 years ago. Not the case. Because you'd go
Yeah.
through those, you'd be zipping through those all day long like you're a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So something happened to you along the way. Well, let me go. Let me do this one first, and then we'll do the second. Is that while you and I were in the midst of finally you being able to say Kale and us doing the work on Kale, your brother passed away. Your brother died.
Yes. Yeah, my brother died again unexpectedly. And but it was different. And so that again, his death for me, we had already done some of the work on him pre-death
Yeah.
because he was part of my stories, part of my
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
And there were good, bad, and ugly. And we were also
Yeah.
doing his kids and his
Yeah.
wife and things. And so I think that was enormously helpful to pick up all of the past garbage and work through it and write letters and do what I needed to do. So it was more truly about his passing, his death, the event, than it was about the magnitude of the grief.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if I wasn't going to miss him, but I just didn't have that same throw you to the ground experience because I wasn't carrying all of the other things or carrying things from my brother Mike and my mother and my dad and Kale and the kids and all of the other things that would have just wound around that and made that just this, epic tragedy.
Yeah.
His death, did it hurt? Yeah, absolutely. Do I miss him? I do miss him. I do.
Yeah.
But it was just so different. It was because I had done work, I knew what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that my body necessarily responded the same
Yeah.
as it would
Well, and
have without
to
that
me, it
knowledge,
was
right?
like, to me, it was like not having done all of that other that dead weight. I guess I shouldn't use that word. Heavy
Well,
weight. Yeah.
true weight. Yes, yes. Right. I got you.
Having
I'm
done
with
all of
you.
that heavy weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
that having lifted off, it felt to me like I was just grieving that one relationship. And that's what
Correct.
was so different.
Absolutely. And it was only from the last sort of event with him, and he did the best he could do in that year.
Yeah.
He really wanted to support me, and I think he tried to take on everybody's role.
Yeah.
He tried to fill the space. He tried to be mom, dad, Mike, any grandparents. I mean, he tried to be everybody. And it got overwhelming. It got overbearing. And it was pissing me off. It just was. But by the same token, he was there when we were in the grocery store and we're walking in the grocery store and I had a total meltdown in the grocery store because I saw something. And he was like so flabbergasted, like, I'm like, all right, just, but he knew not to hug me. He knew not to touch me.
Yeah.
And he told other people, no, she's fine. She's grieving and something, he said, I think something triggered her. I hope it wasn't me. And then once I was able to calm down, so it was also somewhat educational for him.
Yeah.
And I think it gave him opportunity in that last year to open up and talk a lot more about his own experiences in terms of our parents, brother. He'd lost a lot of friends, his kids, and things that I think had I not had the experiences I had and done the work I had done, he would not have had some relief just by being able to have conversations and watch what I was doing.
So thank you so much. We got into doing the test and you never got a chance to introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, hi, my name's Suzanne, and I am a griever,
I'm a griever.
and
I
I am an excellent crier. I've told Sharon if she needs a proxy for crying, I'm your girl because I can cry, but I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I think it's just the
Yeah.
emotional. I tend to be a little more in touch with the emotions. I am someone who has done an awful lot of work on self, and I absolutely love one of the greatest gifts that I got from the grief school was the ability to stop some of the nonsense that goes on in my head.
Oh,
The thought work, catching thoughts, stopping something and saying, take a minute. What is this? What's
yeah,
going on? What is this aligned to? Give it a rating. What's going on? And then put it down and keep going on with your day
yeah,
instead of ruminating in it or it coming back at 2 a.m. in the morning, catching thoughts at the beginning. And there's so many gifts in grief if you do your work.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. You got bit by the grief specialist bug, just like I did.
I did. I did. The grief school experience is really something that's hard to describe. You walk into a space with other women who are broken.
Yeah,
Your world, as you would have defined it 24 hours ago, is no longer.
yeah,
And you're sitting in a space with other people who also are carrying an enormity of pain,
yeah,
whether it be the current loss, it can be fur babies. I've lost fur babies, and I
yeah,
actually had lost a fur baby about X amount of months, not quite a year before Kale died. So you have all these I'm going to call them traumatic events that take place in your life, right? These things that we don't ask for. You're now thrust into a reality you didn't ask
yeah,
for, you don't know how to
yeah,
navigate, and
yeah,
you don't want to be there.
yeah,
And you're sitting in a space with all these other people thinking, I can't do this. I can't do
yeah,
this. I don't have
yeah,
anything to say. You don't understand. This is mine. And you are so masterful at literally taking the scalpel and cutting through just bit by
yeah,
bit and getting everybody to put some of those preconceived things down to stop the external world noise. You're in a safe space. It is safe here. It's just so safe. It may be one of the safest spaces you'll ever find. And do the work, listen, be there for others, let others be there for you. You
yeah,
don't have to, you don't have to know. I don't know what it was like to lose your dad any more than you know what it was like to lose mine.
yeah,
But we've both lost dads. So
yeah,
some of that has an experiential commonality.
yeah,
But what I took so much from the grief school was it's okay to cry. It's okay
yeah,
to be mad. It is okay to say nothing. Every emotion, everything that you're experiencing is 100% okay because it's yours.
yeah,
And you're allowed to own it. And you're allowed to tell people to get the hell off your grief journey and leave you alone because you're doing the best you can for yourself. And taking that to heart, I did that pretty early on. And knowing that that was acceptable, I wasn't pushing people away. I was pulling myself in and doing what I needed to do for myself. And amazing friendships, amazing women at the table who also were working through and growing. And then for me, it was I don't I don't like to see, as somebody new comes to the table and you see it and it's a reflection of where you were and you hear the statements. I'm never going to get any better. It's going to be like this for the rest of my life. I've been grieving for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and I can't. And it's like, it just hurts you. It
yeah,
hurts you. And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know how I give back to this community, but I need to give back to this community that was there for me.
So one of the things you're in the process of finishing your certification, to become a grief specialist, which I think is absolutely amazing. And you actually helped me with teaching, especially the widows group, because you have that experience and I don't have that experience. And I love when you and I are teaching together and we're in the class and you
Mhm.
can speak to it in ways that I can't. And they love it. They love having you there. And that's really great. One of the things that you and I've talked about is how
Mhm.
amazing it would be different places that a grief specialist could show up. But one is
Yes,
corporate because you're in the corporate world. And
correct.
you and I have
Yeah.
often talked about like the day the griever comes back to work, how amazing it would be to have a grief specialist right in the office
Yes.
who could be that resource, call her, say, hey, Suzanne, I'm going to meet you in the parking lot. I'm going to walk in
Right.
with you. Or can people talk about your person? Let's talk to
Right.
that a little bit. How would that look in a corporate world if you were the grief specialist for your office?
Yeah, so different because you're very isolated. People don't know what to say, and there's a job to be done.
Yeah.
So you're sitting, and the other overriding expectation, I think, of everything that happens to the griever after after that minute is people expect they still see you as the same person. They don't see that things have changed. You are still Sharon that you were yesterday. And oh, this is a horrible thing, but you're still Sharon that they knew yesterday, saw yesterday, interacted with yesterday. So having somebody that can be pre-preparing people in
Yeah.
a corporate space to say when Sharon comes back to the table, please understand, or at least let me help you recognize what may have transpired in her space
Yeah.
and how she is not going to show up the way she did. She may
Right.
never show up that way again because her life has been dramatically altered. And you need to meet her in this space at this time.
Yeah.
Please don't say the following 10,000 things to her. The
Yeah.
list is huge, right? I think we have 100 and we can keep up making more. And and I think if the space was more understanding and educated, then as the griever comes back in, it's a whole different experience for them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And because for a lot of people, work is a safe space.
Yes.
Things at home aren't always wonderful.
Yes.
And we grieve people that we love, we grieve people that we hate, we grieve
Yeah.
circumstances that we hate.
Yeah.
And so stepping in, it may not be something that this may be a safe space. It could not be a safe space. You don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And being inquisitive, not helpful.
Yeah.
Being distant, not helpful. Having someone that says, and even contacting periodically, like you and I spoke about,
Yes.
you're taking the time. Take the time away. Maybe not
Yeah.
even make if corporations would not make it an option, and 3 days is not enough. So sad. So
And
sad.
then, and
Three
I've been
days.
changing the way that I say that. First of all, they call it bereavement. It's not bereavement time. It is burial time.
Correct. That's
Call it
all it
what
is.
it is. It's
And
three
even that
days
it's
to
not.
bury. That's it.
Oh, minimum.
Yeah. It's such a you can't even make phone calls and even notify people or deal with a funeral home or anything that you need to do in 3 days. You can't, it's just not possible, even if things were pre-planned. And understanding, and people are of different faith. So again, 3 days, and yet if in the Jewish community, of course, they sit Shiva,
Yeah.
and that's 7 days. So how
Yeah.
does this factor in? And
Yeah.
so we have to also start looking at we have different policies for different types of things, but grief is a standard.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And you touched on this a little bit, but when the griever comes back, she's at her
Mhm.
desk, she's been doing okay, and then all of a sudden she gets hit with that deep, deep grief. She knows she can beeline to your office and the
Yeah,
door can be closed, and you're going to
right.
be the listener who's going to be
Mhm.
there to support her at that moment.
100%. And to also, again, educate the people around, first to let her know it's okay to cry, to be upset. If that happens, don't hide it. Nobody expects you to not be coping and dealing with what you're dealing with. But I think it's also the education to say, if Suzanne is sitting at her desk sobbing, you don't need to run over and fix her. You don't need to run over and pat her on the back or give her a hug. If she wants a hug, she may stand up and say, Sharon, I could really use a hug right now. You need to let the griever call the shots. You can't, it's not your grief. You shouldn't be in there trying to manage what they're going through. It's just not a space that anybody belongs in. A spouse doesn't belong in the space, right? It's very different. And I'm so excited about the opportunity to really dig into that and see what it might look like to have support on site. Somebody that you could, here's the space. I'm having a bad day because at home we're having financial troubles. That's grieving. It's a grieving experience. Wouldn't it be lovely to be able to go in and have just a conversation with somebody who understands? Here's this. I'm just here to listen. Dump it all here. Cry, scream, whatever you need to do, and go on your way. Because people, we we see what we want to see, and we see what people show us.
Yeah,
And people don't show us everything. You have
yeah,
no idea. It's very true. You have no idea what somebody's going through at any moment.
yeah, yeah. I hope you're not hearing the lawnmower. That's what I keep looking at. Like
No,
today.
no, that's fine.
One other thing. So talk to the person that's listening to this show that is a griever. What do you want her to know? What do you want him to know? What do they need to know?
There are people who will absolutely hold your space. There are people who know what pain, that grief pain feels like.
Mm,
This space, nobody's here to fix you because we
mm,
can't.
mm,
This is a community of hearts with ears who
mm,
want what's best for you, and you will
mm,
define what's best for you as you move forward. And
mm.
you will move forward. You may not
Yeah,
think so, you don't want to. Time will pass.
yeah,
And if you can take any hope, any any comfort, and those are big words in the beginning, very, very big words. There are people who are literally at the ready to
yeah,
come in and sit with you and and provide you with tools
yeah,
that you can navigate your way in your time.
yeah,
It's not a prescription. Sharon is not, a witch in a melting pot, and she's not,
yeah,
waving the magic wand and you're going to be healed. It does not work that way.
yeah,
Nobody can do your grief work for you. Nobody will know when it's time but you.
yeah,
And no one will know when you have completed it but you.
yeah,
And it technically doesn't end. The grief
yeah,
work will continue. There are
yes,
moments when something will happen in my life and I'm like, ah, and I have to deal with that. And I work through it and I write
yeah,
a PS, or I write a whole separate letter, or I
yeah,
just sit with it and talk to it and
yeah,
acknowledge it. But the skills and the coping strategies that you learn at the grief school serve you well beyond grief. They serve you in your life.
in your life. Wow, amazing. Suzanne, thank you. Thank you for allowing me onto your grief healing journey. Thank you for letting me fall in love with Kale and mom and dad and Mike and Steve and all of the beautiful people. But more importantly, thank you for being my friend.
Oh, thank you is just never enough.
Yeah.
You are amazing and wonderful. And I can't wait till the day that I get to meet Austin to thank him for the
Yeah.
amazing gift that he left behind,
Yeah.
that has been, has manifested itself through you. So
Wow.
I just absolutely love and adore you, and hope that there are many people out there who will take that tiny, tiny, tiny step forward
Yeah.
and reach out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. He's changing the world, that little kid. Changing
He
the
is.
world.
His
Yep.
10 years on this earth have been magnified exponentially by the work that's been done after his death.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, friend. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.